abstract class. Abstract class. Okay, what is abstract class? What is abstract class? See, a class that contains abstract method. A class that contains abstract method is called as a abstract class. A class that contains at least one. A class that contains at least one abstract method must be made as I'm telling again and again, must be made as abstract class. What is that? If a class is having at least one abstract method, then that class must be made as abstract class. Is that? I repeat again, a class that contains at least one abstract method must be made as abstract class. So what is this abstract method? So I hope the definition is fine. A class that contains at least one abstract method must be made as abstract class. So now we'll see what is abstract method. What is abstract method? An abstract method is one which is not defined. An abstract method is not defined. It is only declared. You are going to just declare. You will be getting little bit concept of interfaces into your mind. What is that we said? Interface is a collection of constants and method declarations. Method definitions will not be there. Similarly, an abstract method is a method which is not defined but declared in the class. It can be defined further in the subclasses. So now, how an abstract method is declared is keyword abstract. So you can use the access specifier, abstract, return type, method name, parameter list, semicolon. You will not have the body. Body will not be there. Body should not be there. It is an abstract method. You use the keyword abstract. So this method is there in a one class. Suppose it is there in a class, then the class must be abstract class. If there is one, at least one, whenever we say at least one, it can have more than one. If you are having only one also, it should be made as abstract class. So what is the purpose of abstract class? It is same as interface concept which we have declared. Those things which are more generalized, more common, which are needed like a blueprint we define in the abstract class, then the subclasses can implement it. See what is the concept here is, so now for an abstract class you can have a subclass. Abstract class you can have a subclass. So that subclass must override the abstract method or has to implement the abstract method. You have an abstract class, you have a subclass for it, and that subclass should implement that abstract method. It should compulsorily implement. That's what we discussed in interface also. If a class is implementing an interface, it should implement the methods in it. Similar way, if a class is extending an abstract class, that class must implement the abstract method which is in the abstract class. If it is not implementing, in case, it should also be an abstract class. Remember again, I say the point again. I have an abstract class, I have a subclass. My subclass should implement the abstract method. If it is not implementing, then it should be an abstract class. Otherwise, you'll get an error. Is that right? So now we'll see with an example. See. We'll see with an example. So class sample is my class. I declare one method public, abstract, void show. I'm not passing any parameters. I'm just closing here. I have a class here. class extends sample. Extends class name I do, suppose class B extends sample. Now what I do, so now in this class, so this is an abstract class, but I did not make it as abstract class. How I should make is, I should put a keyword abstract before the class name. I should put a keyword abstract before method name. If I put abstract, then the method becomes an abstract method. Before a class, if I put an abstract, then the class becomes an abstract class. Is that fine? So now this class is extending this one. I should write implementation for this. Here no abstract keyword again, because I am writing definition. Void show. Okay, I'll write something. I'll write system.out.println hi or something. Is that right? So this is abstract class. A class that contains at least one abstract method. At least one abstract method is made as a abstract class. And a class which is extending an abstract class should implement the method, should override the abstract method. It should write the implementation. If it is not writing, in case if I am not writing, I should make this also as abstract. Okay, so that we'll discuss later. Is it fine with it? One more important point here is, other than the abstract methods, you can have normal methods. Void, suppose display, normal methods can be there. Normal methods can be there. If there is at least one abstract method, it should be abstract class. That's it. Other methods can be there, which is different from your interface. Interface cannot contain any method definitions, but abstract class can contain abstract methods and non-abstract methods. So non-abstract methods, we use one term called concrete methods. Concrete methods. Non-abstract methods are called as concrete methods. Is that right? A class that contains at least one abstract method is called as a abstract class. Okay, so we'll see some of the questions which are based on abstract class. So now if I declare like this, so now what happens with this class? So is it an error? No error. Works fine. Okay, so what happens? So obviously, as I told you, I'm not going to ask. It is very easy because I have an abstract class. Sorry, I have an abstract method. I'm not making the class as abstract, means I'm going to get error. Is that right? Similarly, I make the class as abstract. I don't have an abstract method in the class, then also error. An abstract class should have at least one abstract method. Similarly, a class that contains at least one abstract method must be made as abstract. So fine. So I hope this is clear. This is very simple. We'll see the next one. So now, so this is abstract. As we seen previously, B extends sample. Okay. So now here I'll write some method, public void some display. Okay. System.out.println hi. Okay. So now so in your main method, suppose you think that this is your main. Okay. So public static void main. So now I create object for B. I call obj dot display. I'm not calling show. So now what is the output? A is hi, B is error, C is nothing is displayed, D is none. Okay. So what is the output for this? So this is an abstract class. I am extending it. I am creating object for the subclass, and I am doing it. So what is the error in it? Is there any error, or it is going to work fine? Okay, it's also simple only. You can tell your answers. So what you are going to get? Error. Yes. Okay. As I told you, because you are not implementing the abstract method. Since I have the abstract method, I should override it. This method I have to write. If I'm not writing, it is an error. Okay. So think that I am writing the method. Sorry, I wrote the method. Sure, I have written the method. So now this works fine. Yes or no? It displays high. So now you see. Okay, I'm not calling anything. Sample S1 is equal to new sample. Sample S1 is equal to new sample. Okay, now what happens? Okay, so this will generate error for me. So this is not allowed. An abstract class, or I'll write here. Abstract class cannot be instantiated. An abstract class cannot be instantiated. That is means you cannot use new operator like this and do it. An interface also cannot be instantiated. See, if you are writing like this, no error. Sample S1, no error. Is equal to new sample. If you are writing new sample of this, it is not allowed. You cannot instantiate a abstract class. You cannot initiate a interface. You cannot create an instance of the abstract class and interface. It is not allowed. Is it fine? Then you may get doubt, how can I access the members of the abstract class? Previously I told I may have non-abstract methods also. Then you have to create the subclass for this, create object for the subclass. Through the subclass only you have to access the methods that are there in the abstract class. Is that fine? So this is about abstract class. One very important point they ask time and again is, what is the difference between an interface and a abstract class? Very important concept that you have to know. So what is the difference between an interface and an abstract class? An interface and abstract class. Okay. So the main thing is, an interface cannot contain what is that? Non-abstract methods. Cannot contain non-abstract. What are the methods called? It cannot contain concrete methods. It cannot contain concrete methods. But here if you go, an abstract can contain both abstract and non-abstract methods. Concrete methods also can be there in an abstract class. But in an interface, you cannot have concrete methods. You cannot have non-concrete methods. Is it right? Is it fine? So now an interface can be implemented by classes or extended. Here there is no concept of implementing. Another class can extend a abstract class. Very important point I forgot is, first we will discuss about data. So the data is by default final. What is final? Constant. Final is a keyword which is used to define constant data. In order to make a particular data as a constant, if I say final int a 10, this is a constant. By default, the variables, the data in an interface are constants or final. Final is the other word for constants in Java. Is that right? So by default, the data in interface is final. The third one is here. What is the difference? Here there is no such thing. It can have variables and constants. Both can be there. Variables and final variables or constants can be there. Both can be there. There is no such restriction. Fourth one is by default the methods are public in an interface. By default, the methods are public in an interface. Here, you can use all the access specifiers. You can make it as private, protected, public. You can use all the things. There is no restriction. You can use it everything. Here, by default, it is public. Why it is like that? When we go to packages, we'll discuss. An interface, we may extend further more out of your program also. So that's why we'll make it as public. All the methods in the interface are public. So these are the some of the differences. Anything other than this interface can be implemented. Yeah. These are the basic differences. Both the similarities means both the things cannot be instantiated, or you cannot create an instance for an interface and an abstract class. You cannot create an instance for an interface and abstract class. This is about abstract class. So abstract class is similar to an interface, but the main thing is you can have non-abstract methods also. You can have non-abstract methods also in your abstract class.